Have you ever wondered why? Among Athena's 88 armors, only 12 or 13 have an eternal shine like the sun, and a resistance that defies the laws of physics and time. And what if I told you that? The origin of these outfits? It wasn't an act of divine kindness, but rather a desperate need for survival in a war that almost wiped out humanity 10,000 years ago. Hello, knights and Amazons. Welcome to the channel. Always wanted to know, I'm Wes, and today we're going to travel back in time. Long before Seiya, Saga, or Shaka were even aspiring knights. Let's go back 10 millennia. To understand the forging, the sacrifice, and the alchemical science behind the 12 gold armors, prepare your cosmos, because the truth about the sanctuary is much darker than the history books tell. Comment below where you're watching this video from and who your all-time favorite gold knight is. And of course, subscribe. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and let's get into this awesome video. To understand the gold armors, we need to talk about the mythological era. Back then, Earth was like a chessboard for the gods. Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, and Ares fought over every inch of land and every human soul. The concept of cosmos was not just a fighting technique, it was the very essence of the Big Bang, which resided within living beings. However, humans were fragile. While some ancient gods wore their somas, which were the armors of the Titans, others wore their kamui, the divine garments of the gods of Olympus. Men died by the thousands under the power of colossal deities. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, was the only one who chose to stand by humanity. But there was a problem. She forbade her knights from using weapons. How could they defeat gods who ruled the oceans and the underworld with bare hands? The answer came from the lost continent of Mu. Most of the knowledge about the armors comes from the hypermyth. According to ancient records, Athena summoned the brightest alchemists and blacksmiths from the continent of Mu. They were the only ones capable of manipulating materials that were not ordinary metals. To create the gold cloths, it wasn't enough to use metal. 3 fundamental components were used. Orichalcum, the legendary metal that can store divine energy. Gamanium, the hardest substance in the universe, capable of reflecting physical impacts and stardust, the mystical element that gives life and consciousness to the armor. The gold cloths have been bathed in sunlight since their creation. Since the constellation of each one lies along the path of the ecliptic, the path the sun travels in the sky, they have absorbed an immeasurable amount of photons over millennia. And that's why, my friends, when the 12 gold saints unite, they are able to reproduce sunlight. As we saw at the Wailing Wall, each of the 12 armors is not just a protection, it's an entity with memory. They have what we call a will of their own. Ares, known for being the armor of several restorers, has an intrinsic connection with MU's tools. Its bearer not only fights, but also preserves the life of the other armors. Taurus represents brute strength and impenetrable defense. The Great Horn is not just an attack, but a counter-attack technique that uses the sheathed sword stance. The Twin Yai Jutsu, the most psychologically complex armor, has the ability to be controlled remotely through meditation and can open rifts in the fabric of space-time. With the other dimension, Jace, the Twin Helm, with its 2 faces, represents the eternal conflict between good and evil that dwells in the human heart. Cancer, the only one that serves as a direct bridge to Yomotsu Hirasaka, the hill that leads to the world of the dead, allowing the knight to manipulate waves of spirits. Leo, the personification of the speed of a direct attack. The bearer of this armor is usually the scout of the army, capable of firing millions of plasma beams per second. Virgo, considered the most sacred armor, has properties that allow the user to accumulate cosmos by depriving their senses. Libra, the arsenal of the sanctuary. This armor is not just protection, but a support for 12 golden weapons. Shields, swords, tridents, tonfas, nunchakus, and triple rods. Athena only allows the use of these weapons in extreme situations, and the Libra saint is the only one with the authority to decide whether the other gold saints can wield them or not. Scorpio focused on surgical precision, capable of piercing enemy defenses and striking vital points, the nerve centers that correspond to the stars of the Scorpio constellation. Sagittarius, the only gold cloth that has the SO to CA. The victory of the knight is fundamentally conquest, entertainment above all, with dodging and evasiveness. This is covered in the materialized knight's abilities. A novelty specialized in thermal control, it allows the user to manipulate air molecules to stop atomic movement, making it the perfect tool for the technique. Aurora Execution Pisces, the armor of beauty and poison, protects the user while he manipulates roses that can pierce hearts or destroy enemy armor. The Philco. Beyond the 12 known ones, there is a legend whispered in the sanctuary about the 13th gold armor in the mythological era. Knight of the Philco. He was considered the most powerful and benevolent of all, possessing the gift of divine healing, which rivals the gods. However, his arrogance grew to the point where he wanted to become a god, which provoked the fury of Olympus. The constellation was banished from the zodiac. The house of Ophilco, which was between Scorpio and Sagittarius, was destroyed, and his existence was erased from official history. This armor has a unique serpentine design, and when it awakens, it has the power to put all the other gold knights into a deep sleep. In addition to turning wounds into instant death through its mystical poison, its emergence signals the end of an era and the collapse of the sanctuary itself. The true trial by fire for the gold armors happens during the First Holy War against Poseidon. The Emperor of the Seas had built the scale armors, made from an indestructible marine material. Athena's soldiers were being massacred. It was at that moment that the gold armors showed their value. They not only protected the body, but also amplified the user's cosmos to astronomical levels. A gold saint moves at the speed of light, and that means he can circle the Earth 7.5 times in a single second. Imagine the impact of a punch at that speed. Did you know that the resistance of an armor is linked to the blood that bathed it? And in various eras, Athena's blood was used to awaken the final state of these protections. They become divine armors, capable of rivaling the power of greater gods like Thanatos and Hypnos. Although we are talking about the gold armors, the structure of Athena's army is based on real astronomy. We have 12 gold, 24 silver, and 48 bronze armors. And legend says that there are 4 armors of unknown nature, shrouded in mystery, which many believe belong to a special class of observers, guardians of biblical relics. I made a video theorizing about these armors. Check it out on the channel, it's really cool. Now, let's continue. If we look at works like the Lost Canvas, we see that the lineage of the gold saints is a succession of sacrifices. In every generation, they are the first to fall so that the hope represented by the bronze saints can flourish. In Next Dimension, the official sequel to Saint Seiya, we discover that there is a 13th armor, which is Ophiuchus, or the Serpent Bearer. It was banished from history because its power was so vast that the saint began to consider himself a god, threatening the order of the sanctuary. The existence of this armor proves that the system of the 12 houses was altered to erase a sin from the past. The gold armors are much more than battle suits. They are the testament to human resilience in the face of the oppressive power of the gods. They carry the essence of the stars and the heat of the sun, waiting for those who have the courage to burn their cosmos to the absolute limit. So, which of the 12 gold armors would you choose to protect your constellation? Gordian believes that the Ophiuchus armor should return to the sanctuary, or its power is too dangerous for humans. Comment below so I can know your opinion. And of course, thank you for watching this video until the end, and see you next time. Burn your cosmos to infinity.